Welcome to Bet Haven, the safe place for safe plays. I'm Chandler. How's it going? This is going to be the college football week 2 bet show. I'm going to break down my 3 favorite plays from this week, and we'll see what you guys like. All right, starting off with these guys right here, the NC State Wolfpack. I picked the game last week, and I took the under, and it hit. So I'm 1-0 in NC State picks. But NC State played Western Carolina in an unconvincing fashion. They beat them. Tennessee smashed and won by 1,000,000. So now the market has, in my opinion, overreacted to those 2 games. 2 weeks ago, you could have bet NC State plus 3.5. It's now grown to 10. That is a huge overreaction for no reason. Give me NC State plus 10. I even like them to potentially win this football game at plus 275. One of the main reasons why is NC State's number 1 linebacker, Caden Fordham, was ejected in the first quarter. He got a targeting penalty, and this year in college football, they're using in-helmet communications, so that way to avoid sign stealing. Shout out Connor Stallions in Michigan for that one. But they're using in-helmet communications, and Caden Fordham on the NC State defense is the play caller. He gets the plays into his helmet, and then he calls it out to the rest of the defense. So he was ejected in the first quarter, and NC State had to rely on a secondary communicator. After all offseason, he was the main communicator. So kind of a sneaky play. That's why I like NC State plus 10, book it, and I will throw a little bit on them at plus 275 to take down the Tennessee Volunteers. Pick number 2. Give me Syracuse money line over Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech are frauds. They beat Florida State in the opener, and as we've seen, Florida State's just not good. That game, winning that game probably meant a lot more back then. Now that we've seen Florida State lose 2 games in a row, I'm not that big of a fan. I don't think that win meant much. I also had Georgia State against Georgia Tech last week, and Georgia State got stuffed at the 1-yard line twice in that game. They were right there. All I had to do was punch it in. It was Georgia State plus 21. They didn't end up covering. Georgia Tech wins the game by, I believe, 22. Heartbreaker. Georgia Tech is frauds. They're 2-0 against the spread. I do not think that will happen again. Syracuse, I like Syracuse to win at home. Kyle McCord, Ohio State transfer, is now the quarterback for Syracuse. He had a really good game against Ohio. They won that game 38-22. Give me Syracuse plus 120. And the final game of the week that I like is Kentucky minus 8.5. They're going against South Carolina. My main play, I got a couple reasons for this game. This is probably my favorite game, honestly. South Carolina played Old Dominion, and they squeaked out the win. They won 23-19. But in that game, Old Dominion turned the ball over 4 times to South Carolina's 1 time, and they still only won the game by 4 points in South Carolina. Also, South Carolina only threw for 114 yards. This is an SEC school. They threw for 114 yards against ODU. Well, that means they're gonna have to rely on the running the football. Well, Kentucky played Southern Miss. Kentucky allowed 5 rushing yards to Southern Miss. 5. I don't think that South Carolina is going to be able to run the ball. Therefore, they're going to have to pass, and they clearly are inept at passing the football. So give me Kentucky minus 8.5. They are minus 325 money line. I love that as well, but I'll take the 8.5. I'll throw it in a parlay. So Syracuse money line, Pack plus 10, Kentucky minus 8.5. That's your betting preview. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the Bet Haven.